Hello YouTubers, my name is Flexo013 and welcome to part 13 of the Extreme WorldEdit tutorial. This time we'll be going over some / set commands and / replace commands. You know the basics of changing a block, making a block like this. So we would select both corners with our cuboid selection and do / set4 to make cobblestone. And there we go. And you can also then do a mix of both with putting a comma in between. So 1,4 would end up 50% stone, 50% cobblestone. We can check this by doing the /distribution command. I'm going over everything quite fast because I assume that you have already watched all the other 12 parts. So as you can see, it's close to 50% on both sides. But there's also a way to change this command into, let's say we want a lot more stone than that we want cobblestone. This would end up in such a command. Now we have 75% of this stone and 25% of this being cobblestone. All you simply do is put 75% for the block that you want 75% of, and 25% of the block type that you want 25% of. If we do / distribution to check this, you can see it's very, very close to this. Probably the closest it can get without getting half blocks and everything, which is pretty much impossible. So you can do this with a lot of stuff. I just copied in a command that sets to 50% blue wool, 25% red, and 25% yellow. So as you can see, this generates a very nice cube with, as I specified, 100% wool, but different data types. I was actually surprised at first that it doesn't recognize different data values as a different block, but as you can clearly see, there is way more blue than yellow and red. And you can do this command multiple times to get a pattern of your liking. Over here we have a lot of yellow on this side. We don't want that. We want there to be way more blue on the outside, like this. A lot of blue, just a few specks of yellow and red. You can do anything with this. You can put in any block type. You could put in every single block type. And you can pretty much experiment this with as much as possible. So let's change our selection type to extend again to select the tower we used in the previous video. We select all the sides. There we go. And all the way to the bottom. And now we can replace cobblestone, so that we / replace 4 with what we earlier had as a formula. Since it's a lot to type, I pasted the previous command. Let's get rid of the command. So this would replace all cobblestone with 50% of blue wool and 25 red and 25 yellow. And there we go, a very, very nice tower. As you can see, the half slabs did not get converted. These are half slabs too, and ladders are still there. Even the red wool over here stayed the same. If I hit the command again, nothing will change because there is no longer cobblestone in our selection. But if you leave out the cobblestone, it will so anywhere where there is a block that isn't air, that will be transferred to this. That will also change the flag. And even the ladder, that used to be over here, is now turned into colors. To an extent that even the door and slabs are changed into nice colors. So this is pretty much an extra with replacing and setting stuff. You can make any combination. And I will show you one more thing with this cube over here. You don't have to go up to 100%. So let's say you want 2/3 of this to be blue and 1/3 of this to be red. You would do / set 50%, which might seem strange because you want at 66. But you can do 50% or 66, whatever you prefer, of 35:4, which is blue, and 25% of 35:14. 4 is yellow, my mistake. 11, there we go. So as you can see, this ends up in a very nice pattern, although we didn't even add 100%. So if we set this to 0 and do the command again, you would say then the remaining 25% might turn into, or stay error? Nope. WorldEdit checks how many percentages you put in. So if you put 110 in by accident, it brings that back to the exact amount you specified. So there would be 2 times as much blue wool as red wool with our specification. So if we don't use blue wool, but let's say cobblestone and normal stone, so 2/3 would be stone and 1/3 would be cobblestone. If we check this with the // distribution, this seems about right. So you can do that with any kind of block, and it pretty much works as I have shown you in this video. Replace also works with that. You can try some other commands. It will say everything you can pretty much set to a block type, even generating spheres, everything you can use percentages in them. It adds a little bit of makes a little bit of long commands, but it's worth it. I mean, one of my favorite commands is this one. I have this set to a I have this preset. This changes something to end every kind of wool except the normal kind, which I added just now, and there will be evenly distributed. So there will be the same amount of wool on every type. You can eliminate some kinds of wool like dark green and gray because they're not really nice colors, but it's really nice to just select something and replace it entirely. So let me get out my far wand real quick. /far wand. And do a really quick WorldEdit for you guys, which you guys will love probably. There we go. Boom. We have wool. So thanks for watching the entire WorldEdit tutorial. If there are new commands, I will make the tutorial longer. Here's a link to the entire playlist if you haven't seen it already. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hello YouTubers, my name is Flexo013 and welcome to the Extreme WorldEdit tutorial, which teaches you how to use every single WorldEdit command.